Now what? So I think that's been the hottest topic that everyone's talking about, is just figuring out how to manage and lead under these new circumstances.
Yeah,
I think that's spot on. Now what?
Yeah.
Right. Particularly if the leadership is stuck in the old paradigm of doing business. It's like, based on what we've learned and done all of our life, now what? As opposed to, okay, what's next? What are we changing? Okay. And being out there, being vulnerable, being humble. Team, I don't have all the answers. Give me some input. What are we going to do here? And mean it, not just give time to them to make them feel good and then crack the whip and do what you're going to do anyway. That's all valid leadership. And that's a lot about what we've talked about today.
Yeah, it is. It is. Todd, I mean, if you could whisper into the ear proverbially of the younger generation and set them up for success as leaders, bearing in mind that the world is very different now to when we were younger, what kind of things would you like to say to them to unleash their capability and their capacities and their energy? What sort of things would you like to say to the younger generation?
Yeah, I mean, well, one, leadership is not about you. So many people think leadership is about me, right? It's really about the other people. In fact, I love what Todd Cherches said. Leaders need to see the world through the eyes of the people you lead, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the key premises of visual leadership, is who you are and how you lead is inseparable from the lens through which you see the world, right?
Yeah.
And we need to, what I call, flip the eye, turn the eye on ourselves, look internally at our own biases, assumptions, belief systems. And no one sees the world through the same lens that you do. So we need to really look at the world through multiple diverse lenses. And, leadership we were talking about before, it's about a dream. Martin Luther King didn't say, I have a business plan, I have a spreadsheet, I have a PowerPoint presentation, right? He said, I have a dream, which was a picture of the future that is different from and better than the current reality. And that's what we're all trying to create through leadership. And I think, Simon, you said, I wrote it down, we need to paint an inspirational picture of the future. So I love, I do a lot of work around the use of metaphor and visual imagery. That was a great visual image. It's painting a picture. You hold the brush, right? And you have the canvas. What's the picture that we're going to paint together? It's a mural. It's a canvas that we each have a brush. We're going to paint this mural of the future together.
Viktor Frankl wrote that the gap between the stimulus and a response is where sanity is. We all need time just to stop and reflect and then paint our own picture. And what do you think about that, Tom? Todd, imagine if we could give everybody space to paint their own picture.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to, one of the things leaders need to do, I talked about this in my class last night also, we live in, what we say is a VUCA world, right? VUCA is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. What leaders need to do is the opposite. And I wrote a blog post about it, and I always talk about, in a volatile world, leaders need to help people just calm down, right? Things are explosive. We need to find a way to, even within the volatility, just slow things down and calm things down. Take a breath. In an uncertain world, we need to separate what we're certain about from what we're uncertain about, right? We're always going to be uncertain about most things, but we need to find the certainty. That's our foundation, right? In the world of complexity, we need to simplify things so we can wrap our heads around it. And in an ambiguous world, we need to create some clarity, find that, that vision in the, beyond the fog, right? So leaders, if you could take in a volatile, uncertain, ambiguous world, can find the calm, certainty, simplicity, and clarity, then together, let's create something great. But when you're dealing with chaos and confusion and conflict, it's very hard to make intelligent, informed decisions and not react emotionally. So those are some of the concepts that we talk about.
No,
well, you alluded to earlier, Todd, that you're a prof over at NYU Business School. What's the pulse of your students? What are they thinking? What is going COVID, post-COVID? You had to do some creative class constructions and things like that. What are they saying to you?
Yeah, I mean, my students are very diverse in terms of they come from all over. In fact, like 70% of my students are from China. So, and then the rest are from other countries. So, and the US. But yeah, it's like people are seeing things through a different lens. There's some fear. There's a lot of confusion. I think so. There's a quote from the movie An American President, or The American President, where Michael J. Fox says that in the absence of leadership, people will listen to whoever steps up to the microphone, right? So there's a leadership void out there, right? So people are looking for leadership, and people could be led astray in the wrong direction by bad leadership, leaders who have an evil intent or a bad intent. So we need to fill that void with positivity and hope for the future. A lot of the students, it's a tough time to. My friend's daughter has changed jobs 3 times, and she's never physically met anyone because she's been working, out of her apartment or out of her parents' bedroom, right? So how do we do that? How do we, in a hybrid world, some people are in person, other people are remote, people are located all over the world, how do we create community, collaborate, onboard people, create culture? All of these things are things that are stressing people out, especially younger people who haven't, this is their first time in the workforce. There's a lot of, they need leadership to help create some, stability and a foundation to build on.
No, it's great. It's great, Terry. We can close out on the future, the younger generations. That's where the future is. And Todd, it's been really inspiring listening to you. Yes, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
Thank you. It's been a great event. So I look forward to going back and watching them from the beginning. So thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Todd, I love you. Thanks for stopping in and doing this. And wow, being the anchor, that was spot on, the future. So thank you, my dear friend, and have a great day.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Simon.